Guys, another video on the T5 and I'm looking forward to this one. We're doing a facelift from the T5 to the T5.1. I've got loads of bits underneath the camera. I've got a helping hand to help me with the bonnet. Let's quit with the chit chat. Let's get straight into it. Are you? Let's have a little look and see what bits we've got. I've got a couple of bits from you subscribers. I've got the headlights off a subscriber, thank you very much, and the grille from someone else. Again, thank you very much. I've been collecting some bits over the past few weeks. Front bumper, splitter, bonnet, another splitter, and we have got some headlight adapters. They go from the T5 front end to the T5.1. It did also come with a little yellow wire, which I believe is for the DRLs. I bought these separately. I've saved some money. I did get the headlights and the grille for free. The splitter on the bottom, that was like 50 quid. The bumper was 90, 95. The splitter was the most expensive. No, it weren't. That was 170, and the bonnet, that was about 172. I will put a link to everything I've got here in the video description, and that way you can have a little butcher's. See, if you buy them cheaper, you can buy them second hand. I went for new, that way I can just scotch them off, rub them down, paint them up. I don't know what to expect. Tong Yang, I had a couple of comments in my post, people saying they didn't like Tong Yang stuff. I've got a mixed opinion on that. I've had some Tong Yang panels and they have fitted spot on. We're gonna find out. I've only got a Tong Yang bonnet, not wings and stuff. So let's see what it's like. New bonnets, sometimes for the pattern ones, they come unseam sealed and they rust out quick. So I'll get the tripod set up. It's only there. And let's open these quickly, see what they're like, as in aftermarket wise, and then I'll roll a time lapse on fitting it up. But let's open these packages anyway. I haven't opened any of these. It's later in the day, you might tell. And blimey, us Brits, we do moan about the weather, but you can't blame us. Yesterday, or even this morning, it was absolutely burning red hot to the point where you didn't want to wear any clothes, or as little as you can without getting in trouble. And now, it's rolled in, and I might even put a jumper on. We'll see. Yeah, I have not opened anything. And don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with opening packages like I'm doing right now. Let's just have a quick look. I do not like buying panels offline. They normally turn up buckled up. So we've got no seam sealer. Corners ain't bent over. Ideally, it wants painting before it gets wet. That's why I got the van indoors, because it's meant to rain tomorrow and I don't want it getting wet at all before it's painted. So we need to paint that ASAP. Well, it's a bonnet, you get that. Van style splitter. I won't open that. We'll open that when I fit it. Let me get a blade. Now, hopefully by now you guys know, if I don't know something, I won't try telling you about it. So, I'm gonna roll a time lapse. I haven't offered any of these up yet. I haven't even done any research, but I have stumbled across a few posts on what's needed and what's not needed. But until I learn exactly how to do it, I'm not gonna say anything. So we'll open these up, or we'll open the main two. We'll roll a time lapse. We'll see how long it takes and whether I've got to buy any more bits. It's well wrapped up. Tong Yang bonnet, I think it was 170 or 180. Came next day delivery. I did phone my local parts supplier and they wanted 240 or something. Bought it off eBay. People ask me, where'd you get your parts? I'm an eBay man. I've always been an eBay man. If ever I want something, straight on eBay. Easy as that. This is meant to be an ABSer? ABS plastic, insurance approved. Well, got to paint the grille black. It hasn't got any trims at all. The bottom doesn't matter because we've got a van style splitter, comes up to here. Oh, and it's textured. That's fine. I could rub that down and paint it, that's fine. Well, it looks good. I need to go get my friend Pinch. He's waiting to go home, but I've asked him to help me lift the bonnet on. The rest I can fiddle with myself. So, I'll tell you all about it once I know how to do it. So we'll roll a time lapse and then we'll have a recap. Let's roll the time lapse. Well, that didn't take too long. Everything literally fits straight on. The bonnet bolts on with the original bolt holes. All the grille lined up with the slam panel. The top bolts of the headlight lined up to the original slam panel. The bottom ones, I have made a special bracket. I'll show you in a minute. The front bumper, Tong Yang, fits straight on and it fits nice. There's no bolts in any of it. Obviously, that's meant to sit tighter with the bolts up, but it's literally sat in place. Yeah, nice and easy. Probably one of the easiest facelifts I've ever had to do, to be honest, because it literally fits straight on. If you go to the T6 or T6.1 front end, you need to change the wings, but this is the prettiest front end if you ask me. And the van style splitter, that does fit nice. It's literally popped in place around the edges of the wings, and it does fit nice. I have spotted one small bit that I'm not overly keen on. Is it me being picky? But can you see whoever cut the mould off of the van style splitter, it isn't the prettiest line. I'm gonna have to DA it and make it look pretty, and it gets worse along the front. You can see the rough edge there. I'm just being picky. I guess it's not OEM, and I can fix it. It gets a little bit worse there. Can you see that? I will DA it straight, of course, but yeah, other than that, all went swimmingly. The Tong Yang bonnet, it is okay. If you can afford a genuine bonnet, buy one. These are a lot lighter than the old bonnet. That's a lot heavier. So obviously this one's made of a lesser quality material. It feels solid. It's not flimsy. It does overhang slightly here, but I can address that. I can either pull the wing out or push the bonnet over. But it did all line up. It did all line up. I can't knock that at all. But if you do have the money for a genuine bonnet, it's obviously a lot better. And again, with the bumper, if you can afford a genuine bumper, but I've saved maybe half the amount getting non-genuine parts, and they fit good. The splitter is just precariously balanced there, propped up with what I had to hand, holding it absolutely perfectly, I might add. One thing, I plugged the headlights in, and the headlight adapters, they don't seem to work. I put the headlights on, the DRL light comes on, I put the full beam on, and the indicator comes on. I'm not sure what's going on there. I might have to do a bit of research before I email the seller and say, mate, what's going on? I'll do a little bit of research tonight, but other than that, it looks pretty sweet. I've ordered some paint, and I'm going to paint the front end straight away. So before the end of this video, you're going to see it all finessed and painted up properly. But that took half hour, 40 minutes. No cutting, no chopping, no snipping, bolt straight on. Happy with that. It is actually a couple of days later, and you might notice I've stripped it back off again. And if you're really keen-eyed, we've got a bit of colour on the bonnet. I'll explain more in a minute, but let me just show you these headlight brackets. And I have got a piece of 4mm steel, cut it nicely. I did cut a little notch out of it because I didn't want to weld to this, because this is removable. I doubt I'll ever need to remove it, but you never know. And that just bolts on the bottom of the headlight. Exactly the same bracket on this side, a bit of satin black on it to keep the rust at bay, and yeah, they're really solid. There is one more mounting point here. I will probably make a flat bar to go to the intercooler, one this side and one that side, but for now 2 bolts at the top, 1 at the bottom. It's in a triangle orientation. The headlight is solid. I did also mention that the headlights weren't working in the last shot, and it was my mistake. So this cable here runs all the way along the front up to the passenger headlight, and it plugs in here. Well, I took that off when I took the front end off, and this plug is the exact same as the one in the headlight, and I had them the wrong way round. Worked it out, don't know how, just went for it, swapped the plugs around, all the headlights work. So the headlight adapters, they go from the old van to these headlights straight in, nice and simple. Again, I can't stress enough, it was one of the easiest front end swaps I've ever had to do. Yeah, I highly recommend it, and again, I would recommend genuine panels. The bonnet fits well, Tong Yang, we're happy with Tong Yang, but the bumper, I've painted it, I've rubbed it down. We noticed in the first shot that it was a textured plastic, which makes it a bit more of a ball ache. Well, I underestimate that, a big ball ache. Anyway, let me show you what we got up to after the past couple of days. Straight in with the front bumper, and as we know, it is textured plastic. A bit of a pain, but we'll have to work with it. Rubbed it down with 240, 180, 240, just to take some of the texture off. Not completely smooth, but I'm just knocking the head off of the textured plastic. And then you got to make sure you get in all the nooks and crannies. So all the small areas, that's where paint would start peeling off. Make sure you get in there, key it up, smooth it down, and just literally rub it back as far as possible. It is a bit of a pain, textured plastic, so if you can get a smooth bumper, primed bumper, definitely go for that. I will have to tape up the centre grille and paint that satin black at a later date. Got it in the booth. I have masked up where the fog lights and where the grills go. I don't want primer absolutely everywhere. It's just a bit untidy, so I did tape up all the grills, all the vents, cleaned it, got as much of the stuff off as possible. Clean it, clean it, clean it, because even a bit of dirt in the corner, paint will peel off there, so clean it as much as possible. Then we got some plastic primer. You only really need to give it a dusting of plastic primer. That just sticks really well to the plastic. Then straight over it with 2 coats of a high build primer. First coat, bit of a flash coat. Second coat, a wetter coat. And then 3 coats, sorry. Go back over it. Third heavy coat of 2K high build primer. While that's going off, I then need to focus my attention on the bonnet, because I'm doing this all in one day. And also, if you've seen the short video on the Fiesta rear quarter, I was doing that in the background. Anyway, scotched out the inside of the bonnet, wet grey scotch, scotched it right out. Again, not missing any corners or little bits. You don't want the paint to peel off. Scotched it all out. Scotched the outside and a little bit of wet 800 all around the edges. Inside and the outside of the bonnet is scotched off. Loads of silver on the inside, a flash coat, then a wet coat, another drop coat on the top. I always paint the inside of a bonnet first, that way any overspray and dust doesn't land in the outside. If you're going to get overspray and dust, you don't mind it being on the inside because it's not on display. Got the inside coated in silver, moving on to the outside, quick dust coat, that adheres nicely, let that flash off, then a nice big wet coat, another drop coat and a bit of a flash coat. And yeah, plenty of silver on there. The silver's had 20 minutes to flash off. Now, you want to get off any of the overspray. When you paint stuff, there's plenty of spray in the air. it can land on the bonnet, it can land on your panels, and if you don't wipe it off with a tack cloth, it ends up not looking too good. You get too much metallic. Sometimes the lacquer doesn't lay down nicely. So a tack cloth, cleaning any overspray off, then I'll show you how much is on the cloth, and we didn't want that under the lacquer. Now it's finally lacquer time. I've already lacquered the inside of the bonnet, it's nice and shiny. Always go around your edges, whether that's base coat or lacquer. You go around the edges first, and then you do the main panel. That way you don't get any build up, and you don't miss any edges, and you don't get any stripes. So yeah, do the outside, paint the panel nicely. I would say a 95% coat of lacquer the first time, let that flash off for 15 minutes, go back in, one more heavy coat, and there's plenty of material on there. Yeah, it's come out really nice and shiny. So I've not long finished lacquering, and what I like to do on a panel, your paint flows out in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, so I like to carefully lay the bonnet flat or lay the panel flat. That way the lacquer flows out nicely, gets you as flat a finish as possible. Just something I like to do, you don't have to. And yeah, check that out, really nice. There is one, maybe two bits of dirt in the whole bonnet, can't see them in this shot. Happy with the finish, happy with the silver. Yeah, really nice. Now trying to save a bit more time, the bumper's drying, the primer's drying, going on to the splitter. I rubbed it down with wet 800, scotched all the edges. We've got some plastic primer on there, going straight in with some base coat, bit of a quick coat, drop coat first, something for it to adhere to, and then as the same as the bonnet, go in with 2 wet coats, then a drop coat, plenty of paint on there, no see-through patches, and then the same again with lacquer. Go around the edges first, nice and simple, go over the whole panel, 95% coat first of all, then go back in 15-20 minutes later, 100% coat, and yeah, very nice and shiny. Bumper is all rubbed down, and finally we're in my booth now. Wet the floor, keeps the dust at bay, taken off all the masking tape. I've rubbed this down with 320, 500, wet 800 around the edges, then I've gone over all of it with the grey scotch. I want it all to be keyed up. We don't want any flaking paint. It's looking really nice at the minute, super happy with it. Again, edges, always go around the edges first, you don't get any build up, and then you don't get any stripes when if you do them after. So go around the edges, get some colour on there, same as all the previous panels. We have got a first drop coat on there, then we go in with a wet coat, another wet coat, then a drop coat, which is a flash coat, a bit of a dustier coat. Then go around it again with the tack rag, get any overspray off, and we can see here I did spot a tiny little scratch, which you would have seen. It's a prep mark basically, so I'm just tickling it out with some 2000, bit of water, bit of spit actually, clean it up, and then we're straight in with lacquer. You know the deal, round the edges with the lacquer, over the main panel, a first coat, 95% coat, then 100% coat, and yeah, all done. Check that out for a finish. Couple of little marks, nothing we can't address. Finish is glossy smooth all over. I didn't go too mad on rubbing all the texture out on the lower half, but that's covered up with the splitter. If you can get a non-textured bumper, always go down that route, because it saved me a lot of time. It was a headache waiting for it to dry, rubbing it down, getting all the areas again. Super pumped. Let's fit it up and see how it looks. And that brings us up to today. It's Friday morning, video goes out today. We take this last shot, and bonnet is on, bumper is all done, and it is looking awesome. We'll have a look in a minute. Just want to show that all the fixtures, fittings from the old bonnet fit on this one. We've got some funky little bump stops going on. The washer jets fit this bonnet. I believe the hose for the washer jets should slide straight in. And the sound padding. I've got the sound padding from the other bonnet. That fits on, and all the little clips. I've just got to clean it. And lastly, the bonnet latch. That fits. One thing that doesn't fit, this screw thread. The bonnet height adjuster, that don't fit. It's too loose. Maybe I need to get some later T5.1 ones. I don't know. If you've already done it and you worked out what grommets these are, drop a comment down below. Help me out. So yeah, that all fits. Happy days. Bonnet is silver, bumper is grey, all fitted back together. Oh, I've got to show you this, it looks so good. Anyway, we're going to put it on, we're going to put the bumper on, see how it looks. But before I go any further, I have been next generation Optima cavity wax, and I have been spray waxing the inside of the bonnet, because if you've ever had a non-genuine bonnet, they always rust out along these edges. I know that because my caddy has, unfortunately. So long straw, just get up there. So I'm going to do that off camera. That was a bit of demonstration purposes. And because I've done these sides and the back, it's now running down. Because the bonnet's open, it's now running down and dripping out the corners. So we've got bits of tissue and a cloth gathering. I'd rather it make a mess now, because then it congeals like a jelly. I'll clean that off. At least I know the bonnet's not going to rust out. I will do the front bit. I'll do it and then I'll close the bonnet and it'll all like run to this centre. Well, that's the plan anyway. Right, it's time for the bonnet. No, bonnet's on. Time for the bumper. I did fit I got all the grills out late last night, about 8 o'clock. I got the grills out for the van style splitter, and they were gloss black, and the grill wasn't. So late last night I did paint the grill gloss black, and I believe it was Jack who sent me these. Nice one, Jack. He sent me a gloss black grill. So I painted the grill gloss black anyway. It's not the best of finish because it was bare plastic. It was late, so I heavily scotched it off, plastic primed it and painted it. And it's quite a porous material, so I'd either, for it to be mint, I need to scotch it off and lacquer it. Then it would be absolutely mustard. I do think I want the badgeless grill. It's just straight across. But for now, that'll do. After fitting the bumper up last time, I remember this goes on last. So let's get this out the way. And I need to work out where this cable lives. It's the headlight. That headlight plugs in down here. The cable is just shimmy-a'd into place. We're not going to worry about that for now. And I'm only going to rest the bumper on. I'll probably use a cut cable tie so it don't fall off and scratch. But it's got to come off again. So I'm just going to get the bumper on. I need another pair of hands. I'll go get Pinch. Let's get the bumper on, see how it looks. The bumper looks awesome. While I go get Pinch, check out a few clips of this bumper. I have enlisted the help of Pinch. Pinch to the rescue. Try not to stand on the grill. So it was under them, yeah. Oh, it fitted a lot easier today, didn't it? What have I done? Okay. So I'm only going to cable tie it for now. It's not a permanent fix, don't worry. And the reason I'm cable tying it is because it has to come off again. And look guys, if you're thinking of doing the front end swap, everything literally fitted straight on. That time-lapse Pinch where we were fitting it up was 33 seconds long, so that meant it'd take us 34 minutes to do the front end swap. Everything fits straight on. I did make some headlight brackets. If you don't want to go to the effort of making headlight brackets, you can just get a T5.1 slam panel. This one is a bit corroded. I will anti-rust it. But there's some nice plastic trims that go over there, so I will get them. Let's get the gloss black grill. Yeah, I got the fog light grills out of the packet last night and see they were gloss black. So I just quickly lashed a bit of gloss black on this. Oh yeah. That's super suave, isn't it?
I'll let you push it all the way home along there.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Could be true, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does go back more. Oh yeah. So it's just some M6 threaded bolts. One will do for now, obviously not forever. Looks pretty sweet, don't it? Just like that. It's the YouTube videos where you watch for a helping hand and they say, simply unscrew the bolt. You look at your bolt and it looks like it's been dragged through the sea backwards. So it isn't the same. But today, it is literally as easy as it looks. You are joking me. Yeah, all the fixtures and fittings from the old bonnet fit this one, even the sound deadening. Yeah, so you can get plastic covers that cover that bit of the scuttle, because they look a bit... Yeah, oh yeah, and the battery cover. It's a big trim that goes over here. Haven't got them. Spray wax, absolutely gearing it. Oh my God, I'll get a shot of that. Don't worry. I would rather wipe spray wax off than the bonnet go rusty. When I turn it up this way, it's going to drain forwards. Oh, and then drip over the front end. Holy smoke, look at that. Yeah. It's the first ever motor I would have done two-tone, i.e. silver. That, I'm super pumped on that. I don't have these inserts. They're another 40, 50 quid for the inserts. And I plan to put the DRLs in there. So there's no point wasting 40 quid on some of these trims when I need to get the DRLs. But the DRLs are 179 quid. They're on eBay. I'll put a picture up now quick. They just go in there. They hook up to the yellow wire that comes with the headlight adapters, DRLs. I can't afford them at the minute. I'll tell you one thing quickly. I was going to paint this white. I said to the missus, I'm just going to paint the T5 white. Nice and easy. Haven't got to worry about door shuts. Spent 125 quid on 7.5 litres of paint. Told the missus. She said, oh, you see a lot of white ones. Not too keen on that. I'm like, oh. So back to it. Silver, grey. Really happy. Extra effort to do silver base coat and lacquer, but it's going to be worth it. One last thing. So if we remember this gap along the front, I did sort it out. I sanded him down, got him straight. It is poking out a little bit there, but with the sun on it, it might settle. The only thing I'm not happy with is the edges. But anyway, let's get it out. Let me give it a wipe down and let's have a better look. Let's check the light bulbs as well. Thanks for your help, Pinch. So before we have a little look at the front end out in the light, I just want to show what it was like before. And don't get me wrong, the Mark 1 T5 front end looks very fresh and clean. It is a nice front end. It looks tidy on this. And don't get me wrong, if you're a T5 owner and you're a resist the lift kind of guy, all for it. But check this out. Really happy with that. I'm loving the contrast between the silver and the grey. And the reason for the silver and the grey, the top half is for heat distribution. In the summer, silvers, whites, they keep the heat out a lot better. And the grey is for a bit more colour. A lot of T5s come in two-tone. Never done one myself. We're going to run along there with the tape line, silver top half, grey bottom half. Yeah, really happy with that. I like the gloss black. It's a bit more pimped. I mentioned I do want to get the grille without the slats. One thing, if you've got that grille, there's a little cutout in the bumper. Am I going to have to filler that? Not sure. And I might have to repaint this front end because I only got 2 small bits of paint knocked up for these. And when I paint the rest, the colours might not match, so I want it all to be in the same colour. But now it's got paint on, I only need to scotch it off, paint it, be nice and simple. And I do want to repair what's going on there. I believe I need to notch some out there. I did straighten the front, but it's a little bit untidy on the corners, and it's got to be perfect. What do you reckon? Are you feeling the front end, or do you prefer the older front end? I am super happy with this. I do like the T6, T6.1 front ends, but this is the sportier look. Yeah, super happy. Let's get a bit of a low shot. Hopefully it's good with the light out here. It's quite hard to get a picture in the sun, but yeah, sweet. Also, now I've done the front end, I need to move on to the rest of it. I weren't going to do the bodywork just yet, but I need to get the sides painted ASAP. So the next videos, we'll be moving straight on to bodywork. The wheels and the tyres, I'm not sure what to do yet. People get 20-inch wheels, but it reduces ride quality. I don't mind the 16s, and it's got brand new tyres, but they need to be wider, possibly a different colour, maybe anthracite, maybe black gloss. I'm not sure yet. Some later wing mirrors, we'll carpet the inside. Yeah, let's get this wrapped up, because I still need to go and edit this last bit and upload it, but I am super pumped on that. Oh, and one thing, I did get some brake hoses. Didn't find the old ones, unfortunately. Had to buy some new ones. So we've got rear brakes. Well, we haven't, because I've still got to fit them. But yeah, get the rear brakes done, and we can take it out for a better drive. I might get it MOT'd before we paint it. Maybe not, actually. Sounds a bit of a waste of effort. I want to put some two-seater seats in the back. Not sure on what ones yet. There's a lot of pretty ones out there. I'm not going to put a free seating, because I don't want to take up a lot of room, but I do need a two-seat for the kids to sit in the back. So if you've got any suggestions on what two seats go well in these, I wouldn't mind them clipping in and clipping out, you know, like the caddy seats. They come out really easy. You can still use it as a full van. Not sure yet. Any input you guys have got, drop it down in the comments. But that's going to about do it for this one. If you want to see some more T5 content, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, click the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.